Well, PK, from the neutral's perspective, that was 5-star entertainment. I imagine it was a bit more stressful for you in the dugout. What were your thoughts on the 90 minutes that we just observed out there?
Look, I think it was two teams that gave it their all. When I talk about us, I thought we played some really, really good stuff. Just the two lapses of maybe concentration, cost us. But I think for the 90 minutes overall, we played some really good stuff.
The two goals coming about 15 minutes into the second half, did you change something at half-time? Did you instruct the boys to do anything different? What do you think was behind the breakthrough?
I think we just kept following our processes. We didn't change anything. We're just in the right areas that we should be as a collective, and we scored those two goals.
Can we also get a word on the performance of Nathaniel Atkinson tonight? He's done a lot of work, especially in the lead into that second goal, to really set the table. It seems like he's really embraced the opportunity to start tonight.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. Again, I think it was a collective performance, but when you talk about Nathaniel, he did really well. And I'm happy to see that, but also, it comes through hard work, so he needs to continue that. It's not just one game, He needs to keep continuing and building on tonight.
You've talked a lot about, backing in your forwards, and those couple of goals tonight sort of felt a bit like a throwback almost to last year. What did you make of, what did you just make of them generally? It was a couple of very classy efforts, obviously Andrew Naboo and Jamie involved as well. I
think we just, got into areas where we're able to have a chance, and they were, there were two good goals. But it was the collective that got us, in those areas, which I'm happy about.
Jamie McLaren sent off at the end there. What was your view on it? Do you know why?
I don't know. It's I know Jamie very well, and his character isn't of any malice or anything like that. So you'll have to ask the ref, because he blew his whistle up tonight, I thought.
Did you get given any indication of what it was for? Because it looked like it was just a coming together for the ball.
No, nothing. All I knew was the player blocked a shot. There's a bit of a scramble, and next thing you know, there's a red card. Maybe you should ask the ref. As they say, they're always going to put in a report and let them. We'll see. I don't know.
Despite the result, especially in comparison to the manner in which you played against Western United, having to work from a losing position, can you take some kind of satisfaction in the manner in which you were able to work your way into the game despite going 1-0 down?
Yeah, I thought we'll dominate both games. So there's nothing to worry. Again, sometimes you have to come, but we showed great character. But in both games, in my personal opinion, we created the better chances. And we got rewarded with those two tonight. Against West United, we didn't. That's football, but you work harder to improve and get in those areas, and they paid off tonight.
Thoughts on Aiden ONeill's performance? They seemed to allow certain passes into him in the first half. He became much more involved in the second. Do you think he impacted in Victory's, let's say, lessened amount of pressing in the second half?
We had a clear game plan. You need to speak to the other coach about that. But, I thought Aiden did really well, did a lot of hard work, got into great areas of the pitch. And I was happy with his positioning and work ethic tonight.
It was a hard-hitting game, and we saw Nacho Rash came off and replaced by Roston Griffiths. What's Nuno's status, and have you got any other injuries coming out of that one?
No, nothing. I need to speak to the medical team. Because we need to obviously to prepare for Wednesday's game.
What was the complaint that Nuno had? Was it
just maybe a bit of tightness, but even in that we were thinking already to make the sub anyway. But we would rather be precautionary. But again, I need to speak to the medical staff to see how he is.
And Matt Leckie copping a knock yesterday, not available. What was the nature of the knock that he copped in training, and will he be right for the FFA Cup for your next A-League men's game?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We train hard, so unfortunately sometimes you get those things. It is what it is, but he's tracking fine. There's nothing major, so we'll see as his progression goes into Wednesday's game.
Were you disappointed with the way you conceded the equalizer with the long ball and potentially a goalkeeping mistake as well?
Yeah, look, I think it's a concentration issue where it was a nothing pass from the keeper. It just was a clearance. So, look, we need to look and we need to see, and we need to learn from it. I think it's the main thing. We need to learn from it, just in case we get put in that position again.
And do you think that the fact that it was a derby and the atmosphere and the crowd kind of affected the way that the game played out compared to previous matches? Do you think that affected your team or how the game, as I say, played out?
What do you mean by affected?
As in previous games, you've been it's been really tight and kind of contested even when you've been in the ascendancy and with the ball, and this game it felt a bit more open and chaotic. Would you put that down to the derby atmosphere?
I don't know. We play a certain way, and that's the way it is. Sometimes there's space, sometimes there's not. There's two teams that are going to compete, and regardless of what happened sort of last year, they're always hard games. And again, sometimes you get space, sometimes you don't. But I thought, two teams, really went for it today.
Just on Jamie, if you're not, with the red card, can you appeal it, and will you if you?
I don't actually know what happened, so
yeah.
I can't give you an answer. I haven't spoken to the ref. We need to see what in his report what actually happened. I spoke to Jamie and he didn't swear at the ref, so I actually don't know literally what it was about.
Thoughts on Marco Tilio's performance? His other start for the season came in midfield. Do you think he was more suited to the wing this evening?
Yeah, I think Marco had an okay game. There's certain areas of sloppiness, but you expect that from a young player, but he needs to improve in that. But he knows that. It's just great that he got another 90 minutes under his belt, but he needs to work hard and build on the performance.
So, what areas specifically was he sloppy?
A couple of turnovers that I thought, maybe gave the ball away needlessly. Not everyone's perfect, but it's just the decision making at the time that he needs to improve, and we know that he'll do that. It's just training at that level.
Both of your goals tonight, the first one was delivered from a cross from the right, and the second one, Andrew Naboot attacking the empty space that was left there. Obviously, Victory having to play Lee Broxham at left back after the suspension to Jason Davidson. Was that an area of the Victory defence you identified that you wanted to target heading into this one?
No, regardless of who was playing for the other team, it's just that we focus on certain areas in the box, and Andy happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Cheers, PK.